In this video, we're going to cover part of topic 3.4, the ideal gas law. We're going to talk about the gas laws and the ideal gas law, and then we'll save Dalton's law and mole fractions for later. All right, so if we want to relate volume and pressure, we just talked about this in our other video. Volume and pressure are inversely related, so if I double the volume of the gas, then the pressure is cut in half, things like that. So just make sure you know those relationships. Relating volume and temperature, if I increase my temperature, then think about it in a balloon, then my volume is going to expand or my balloon is going to get bigger. If I increase the number of moles of gas in my balloon, though, the slope of the line is going to increase. So look at the two slopes of the line here. So it's like it'll increase faster. The volume will get bigger faster because there's more particles in there that need to spread out. Equal numbers of moles of any gas will produce lines with the same slope. So that leads us to Avogadro's principle. These numbers here on your sheet are hard to read. That's 1.5 liters of argon and 1.5 liters of N2, so you might want to write those down. Basically, Avogadro's principle just tells us that equal volumes of different gases at the same temperature and pressure contain equal numbers of particles. So each of these balloons contains different types of gaseous particles at 0 degrees Celsius and 1 atmosphere, but they all have, since their volumes are all the same, they all have the same number of particles. Standard temperature and pressure, STP, don't forget what that means, is 0 degrees Celsius and 1 atmosphere. 1 mole of any gas is going to occupy 22.4 liters of space if we're at STP. So that's something that we can think about, and we'll use it later when we start doing some stoichiometry and stuff with this. Okay, so here is our ideal gas equation. PV equals nRT. So P is the pressure in atmospheres. It's got to be in atmospheres. I'll tell you why. V is in liters. That's our volume. N is the number of moles in moles. And then R. Our R is a constant that was experimentally determined. There are different values of R, and it just is going to depend on what units we're in. So I'm actually going to get rid of this number, and I want you to write down this number. It's very similar, 0.08206 liter atmospheres per mole Kelvin. So yes, they're very similar numbers, but this is the one that's on your formula sheet. So you want to use this one. There's also 8.314 joules per mole Kelvin. It's the same value, it's the same number, it's the same constant, but the units are different. So you're going to need to make sure you understand which one to use and when to use it. Right now, since we're talking about gases, liter atmosphere per mole Kelvin. And then our temperatures always have to be in Kelvin. So our degrees Celsius plus 273 is how we're going to get to that. So let's look at a problem. This problem says that we have an 8.5 liter tank containing helium gas at 16.9 atmospheres and 25 degrees Celsius. How many moles of helium are available for making balloons? So your equation is PV equals nRT. Since we're looking for moles, that means we're solving for N. I am a rearranger. I like to rearrange the equation. So I'm going to divide both sides by RT to get N by itself. So PV over RT, and then I can go ahead and plug in 16.9 atmospheres times 8.5 liters divided by that R value of 0.08206 liter atmospheres per mole Kelvin, and then 25 degrees Celsius plus 273 is 298 K. Now I'd like to talk about units. Let's make sure we're being careful with those and setting things up appropriately. Atmospheres cancel, liters cancel, kelvins cancel. So the only thing we have left is moles. It's per mole, so that mole comes up to the top, which is what we want. We want to end up with moles. So N, and then our answer here with 2 sig figs because of that 8.5 liters is 5.9 moles of helium. All right, next problem. This is kind of going to tag on to the problem that we just did. So if all of the helium is used to fill 1.5 liter red balloons at 0.99 atmospheres and 32 degrees Celsius, how many balloons will you end up with? So this time we're looking for volume, and then we're going to figure out from there how many red balloons we can fill up. So if your equation is PV equals nRT again, this time I want to solve for V, so I'm going to divide both sides by P. So V is nRT over P. Go ahead and plug in. So my N we just found is 5.9 moles. My R, 0.08206 liter atmospheres per mole Kelvin, times by my temperature. I'm adding 273 to 32, so that's 305 K, and that is all over the pressure of 0.99 atmospheres. I'm going to not round yet. You can, but I'm not gonna. So it's 149 liters here. And then we've got each balloon can hold, we want to fill them to a volume of 1.5 liters. So that gives me 99 red balloons. And this is supposed to be funny. Apparently there's a song called 99 Red Balloons. All right, next one. An unknown gas is collected in an 850.0 milliliter vessel at 1.02 atmospheres and 23 degrees Celsius. The evacuated vessel has a mass of 138.45 grams, and the vessel and gas have a combined mass of 140.12 grams. Find the molar mass of the gas. So this one's a little more involved. What you need to think about here is, what is molar mass? Think about your units on molar mass. Molar mass is grams per mole. I can figure out grams because I have these numbers here that I can subtract. So what I need to find is my moles. So that means with my PV equals nRT, I'm looking for N. So that's going to be PV over RT. My pressure is 1.02 atmospheres. Uh-oh, I see a problem here. We are in milliliters. We need this to be in liters. So think about how you're going to do that conversion. If you don't need to write this part down, then don't write it down. That's okay. But there's 1 liter for every 1,000 milliliters. So 850 divided by 1,000 is 0.8500. Don't forget that sig fig, liters. Over our R, 206 liter atmospheres per mole Kelvin. And then our temperature here is 23 degrees. We're going to add 273 to that to get, I believe that's 296 Kelvin. Check those units, make sure you set it up correctly. Atmospheres cancel, liters cancel, kelvins cancel. We're left with moles, which is wonderful. So my N here is 0.0357 moles of this unknown gas. So I'm going to jump to the next slide, because they gave us a lot of space to do this problem. We just said that molar mass is grams per mole. So I need to find my grams. So I'm going to look back to my problem. I have 140.12 grams minus the empty vessel, which is the 138.45 grams, divided by the moles that I just found, 0.0357 moles. So now my molar mass, if I do that subtraction, think about sig figs when you subtract. We're looking at numbers after the decimal, not total sig figs. So I need 2 digits after the decimal. So it's 1.67 grams divided by our moles. That gives us grams per mole, which is what we're looking for. So this is 46.8 grams per mole. So our next slide is going to talk a little bit more now about how we can use our ideal gas law here to find density. So an unknown gaseous hydrocarbon has a density of 3.24 grams per liter at 1 atmosphere and 28 degrees Celsius. Find its molar mass. So what we're going to do is we're going to manipulate this equation a little bit. So we know that N, our moles, is equal to grams divided by the molar mass. That's what we see here. So we can plug in mass and molar mass there, times our RT. And then what they did is they rearranged the equation to solve for molar mass. And if you see, that gives me M over V, or my mass over my volume, which is the same thing as my density. So they use this is a Greek letter, I think it's a rho. I'll use a big D, a capital D for density is what we usually do. So the equation when we think about molar mass is dRT over P, dirt over P. So now we're going to be able to just plug in and solve. So to find the molar mass, we have our D, our density, 3.24 grams per liter, times our R, 0.08206 liter atmospheres per mole Kelvin. And then our T, 28 degrees Celsius plus 273 is 301 K, I think. And then divided by my pressure of 1 atmosphere. So that should give me grams per mole as my units. That's what we're going for molar mass. So our liters cancel, our atmospheres cancel, and our kelvins cancel. And we're left with grams per, we've got the divide sign there, mole, grams per mole, which is good. That's what we're looking for. So this becomes, I got 80.0 grams per mole. All right, we're going to do one more problem. We're going to talk about the combined gas law, and then that will be it for this video, and we'll cover the rest of it later. So our combined gas law, if the pressure, volume, or temperature of a system changes but the number of moles remains the same, the combined gas law equation can be derived from the ideal gas law equation in order to solve the problem. So here's what they did. They just, we've got our initial and our final pressures and volumes, temperatures and temperatures on that side. That's equal to NR, so they did this and this, and they set them equal to each other. And they use I's and F's for initial and final. In CP Chem, we did 1s and 2s, so P1V1 over T1 equals P2V2 over T2. Again, don't forget temperature always has to be in Kelvin when we're talking about gas laws. All right, so a cylinder of gas is kept at a constant volume. So already we don't even need the entire combined gas law. Constant volume means that it's not going to change, so we can just get rid of that in our problem. As the temperature increases from 24.1 degrees Celsius to 326.4 degrees Celsius. If the initial pressure is 1.01 atmospheres, what is the final pressure in millimeters of mercury? Throw in just one little thing at us here that's a little bit different. All right, so like I said, since our volumes are not changing, we can just get rid of that, and we end up with P1 over T1 equals P2 over T2. So let's see, our P1 is 1.01 ATM. My T1 is that 24.1 plus 273 is 297.1 K. We're looking for P2. Which is 599.4, I believe, Kelvin. And then I'm just going to do some algebra. You can cross multiply and divide, or if you want to, I would just multiply both sides by this 599.4 Kelvin. And so it's completely gone on this side. The kelvins go away over here. And then I'm left with just P2 on the right. So if I do that math, I got 2.04 atmospheres. But the problem asks 4 millimeters of mercury. So now we have to do a conversion. I think this was in the beginning. Yep, on the standard temperature. No, maybe not. I don't know. I think it might have been in our last notes about pressure. So we've got this much atmospheres. There's, for every 1 atmosphere, it's 760 millimeters of mercury. I believe that's on your formula sheet, but we can double check that later. Atmospheres cancel, multiply straight across, and we still want to keep our 3 sig figs, so 1.55 times 10 to the third millimeters of mercury. All right, we will stop there and finish the rest of this either in class or in our next video.